All right, welcome everybody. There was some confusion over which link to join, so I'm just making sure everyone has it right now. Welcome everybody. All right, while we're getting situated, if you can just go ahead and just put in the chat where you're joining from. What part of the world, what city, what country you're joining from. I'm gonna just make sure everyone has this that I know about.
I'm from San Diego, California, USA.
Welcome, Alan. Fantastic.
Namaste, Dr. Penn.
Yeah, great. We got Marguerite from Jenkintown, Pennsylvania, Brampton, New York, Karen from Ormond Beach, Florida, Romania, London, Leicester. I always think I pronounce that wrong. Leicester, it's probably something totally else. It's like, anyway. We got Samuel here. Fantastic, from Nigeria. You made it on. Jackie from California. Diana Feck. Luisa from Brazil. Welcome back. Achimo. Barbara, fantastic, from the Netherlands, joining again. Savan from Northampton, UK. Jane Jeffries, St. Petersburg, Florida. Savan saying welcome, namaskar to all. Jessica, fantastic. So good to have so many people on here from literally all over the world, and to experience something that is a unique experience. Those who have been on it before, Linda and some of the other people, can share a little bit about their stories. I'm not asking you to share right now, but if you want to, you can. But the amazing possibilities that exist when you follow some of the simple principles that are outlined by Dr. Naram, that these ancient masters knew for thousands of years. They knew how you can apply these ancient secrets to experience more vibrant health, unlimited energy, and peace of mind. And as you apply these on the last miracle experiment game, what if on this call alone, you learn some principles, some secrets that could literally change your life and the lives of those you love forever? Just out of curiosity, who has someone in their life that they love? You can just go ahead and raise your hand, someone that you love. Okay, good. So we have someone. Kathy, you didn't raise your hand. I'm wondering if you have someone you love. Yeah? Okay, good. So then the other question is, who wants that person to experience a better quality of life? Either to live longer or to live healthier and happier. So I think all of us. G.I. Jane, fantastic, you're here. Oh, it makes me so happy to see you. Dee, so good to see you. Helena, fantastic. So we have people in our lives that we love. We have people that we love that want to experience more health. We want them to experience more health, more vibrant health, more unlimited energy and peace of mind. Jessica, oh, so fun that you're here. Monica, so good to see you. Linda, wow, great. Man, this is so fun. I'm really so excited about what we're gonna experience today as we learn 3 secrets that over the course of this next 30 days, you'll be applying in your life in such a way that you'll see more mystical miracles of love and healing happen in your life. In fact, I'm going to actually transfer my position slightly so that we can review these together. And before we do that, we always have kind of a practice where we play a little clip which can help drop us from our head into our heart a little bit more. So going along with the principles of this experiment, let's see if I'm going to go first of all here. Oh my goodness, this is so fun. So this clip is about 4 or 5 minutes. And as I'm playing this clip, I just want you to close your eyes, take a couple of deep breaths, Take a couple deep breaths, feel the ground. If you can remove any other distraction from around you, you want to feel your feet on the ground if possible, or your butt on the chair. Feel the air around you. Just drop in, close your eyes, take a couple deep breaths, and then drop into your heart as you're listening to this clip. That's about one of the principles of this game.
You think this is just another day in your life? It's not just another day. It's the one day that is given to you today. It's given to you. It's a gift. It's the only gift that you have right now. And the only appropriate response is gratefulness. If you do nothing else but to cultivate that response to the great gift that this unique day is, if you learn to respond as if it were the first day in your life and the very last day, then you will have spent this day very well. Begin by opening your eyes and be surprised that you have eyes you can open. That incredible array of colors that is constantly offered to us for pure enjoyment. Look at the sky. We so rarely look at the sky. We so rarely note how different it is from moment to moment with clouds coming and going. We just think of the weather. And even of the weather, we don't think of all the many nuances of weather. We just think of good weather and bad weather. This day, right now, has unique weather. Maybe a kind that will never exactly in that form come again. The formation of clouds in the sky will never be the same that is right now. Open your eyes, look at that. Look at the faces of people whom you meet. Each one is an incredible story behind their face. A story that you could never fully fathom. Not only their own story, but the story of their ancestors. We all go back so far. And in this present moment, on this day, all the people you meet, all that life from generations and from so many places all over the world flows together and meets you here like a life-giving water if you only open your heart and drink. Open your heart to the incredible gifts that civilization gives to us. You flip a switch and there is electric light. You turn a faucet and there is warm water and cold water and drinkable water. It's a gift that millions and millions in the world will never experience. So these are just a few of an enormous number of gifts to which we can open your heart. And so I wish you that you will open your heart to all these blessings and let them flow through you. That everyone whom you will meet on this day will be blessed by you. Just by your eyes, by your smile, by your touch, just by your presence. Let the gratefulness overflow into blessing all around you. And then it will really be a good day.
I love starting with those. As he was talking about opening your eyes and looking at the faces of the people around you, I was just looking at everyone's face on this call and just feeling so much love. I mean, you can look right now at like the people literally gathered from all over planet Earth, from so many different countries. You know, we have 97 people on the call right now. The limit is 100. So it just got to 98. So all over planet Earth, from so many different backgrounds and so many different lifestyles, but something called you here right now to this moment. And there's something so beautiful about seeing this tapestry of faces and feeling your heart and what it is inside of you that called you to know there's more miracles that you can experience. You know, there's more mystical miracles of love and of healing that you can experience for yourself and also help those that you love to be more in that space. Now, I know some people on this call have been on previous miracle experiment games. So this is actually, let's see, 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th time we're doing it. Each time it's getting better. And if you don't mind, Jenny, I'd love for you to share. I don't know, I hope you don't mind me calling on you, but you shared some real powerful miracles that happened in your life. If you could just share about your experience and what it's been like to be in some of the previous games. You can unmute yourself. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. It's great to see your faces again. Some are new and some I've seen from the beginning. So hello. Yeah, there has been happening so many things in my life. I think with many of you who did this miracle experiment before. Yeah, well, how can I share this, Clint? It's very personal, and I'm also very shy to share these things. But I know that some of you have shared also these your personal stories, and it's deeply felt when I hear your story. So I will try to, in a small group, it's more easy to share things. Yeah.
If it's okay if I share one thing that you said that impacted me really deeply?
Please.
So Jenny is the one who, after the first global healing miracle experiment, session we had, where I read actually a chapter from the very first chapter about that girl Rabat. So for many of you who've read the book, you know her story. And then I brought I brought Giovanni on the call, and then I brought Rabat on the call. It was so beautiful. And then Jenny contacted me after. She's like, I think this book needs to be translated. At that point, zero translation was happening on the book. Within 1 week, within 2 weeks, there was people from all over the world helping translate it into 30 languages. I think it's 27 now. And she was coordinating it. And as she was doing it, she realized her vibration was increasing. And just by being associated in a space of love where people are sharing miracles, hearing miracles, experiencing something differently. And as her vibration was increasing, like 3 major miracles happened. One is it okay if I share about you lost weight? How much weight did you lose?
In total, I lost 6 kilos now. So I started with the mung bean soup. And I did that for about 4 weeks. And I felt that's what something I didn't share with you. I had fibromyalgia, and my pain was leaving. So I have arthritis in my hands that was leaving. So all good things happening. And I lost 6 kilos.
That's
Yeah.
so fantastic. What percent less pain in your hands did you notice? What percent less pain?
From I think 8 to 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is huge.
It's amazing.
So
Yeah.
beautiful. Also
Yes.
on this call, Jenny, thank you so much. I want to say that it's not just only physical, but then also on a very personal level, even
Yeah.
financial miracles have been happening for her. And so I
Yes.
just want to say thank you. If you're lucky enough to be in Jenny's group, you've got to make sure you ask her to share what are those miracles, because they inspired me and really touched my heart. So thank you, Jenny, so much.
You're welcome.
Good evening. I'm
Samuel, you wanted to
Abayomi this from Abeokuta, Nigeria. Want to thank you for job well done and for keeping the flags flying.
Oh, thank you, Samuel.
That the late Dr. Naram, you keep the job going on. Know what I mean? Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Samuel. I just barely got the picture of you with your book and it touched my heart. Really, the one thing that's really a gift, what Samuel is saying about keeping the flag running, is we have such a strong foundation. You know, Dr. Ram had a master who lived to be 125, whose name was Baba Ramdas, had a master. The original master was this man, Jivaka, who was the personal physician for Buddha. So you can imagine a physician for Buddha, what he must have to be like. And there's one reason why it's lasted for thousands of years is because it works. It works. And so what I've done in this miracle experiment game is simplify it down. So taking a lot of the complexity out of it and just boil it down to 3 things that if you do over this next period of this month, this 30 days, it's very, very likely you'll see all kinds of mystical miracles of love and healing happen in your life. So Samuel, coming from Nigeria, how did you?
Thank you very much. And I want to thank my sponsor, Joseph T, who sponsored the book for me from all the way from Puerto Rico. So I want to thank her and appreciate her. Extend my greeting to Dr. Naram's son.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Samuel.
Thank you very much.
You know, I feel your joy.
Are you going to put me? Which group?
Well, you'll be able to choose your groups. Actually, we'll talk about that in a little bit. I'm glad you brought that up. So since you brought that up, the structure of this is we have this main group that will meet every Sunday. And then you'll have a smaller group that will meet once a week and you'll be able to choose the time. We'll actually have a little survey. You'll just pick which time you'll join that group and then you'll be able to join that group. But I just want to say, for everyone on the call, who can raise your hand if you can feel Samuel's enthusiasm, like his excitement, his gratitude to be here. You know, it's like, it's a magical thing that all the way from Nigeria, he couldn't get the book and he pleaded online, can someone please send it to me? Because it's one of the places where it's harder because the printing presses aren't open and they couldn't print it. And someone in this group, out of love from Costa Rica, shipped the book all the way from Costa Rica to him. And he just got it literally days ago. And is feeling that gratitude, that love. And that's what I feel about this group is the amount of love people feel. Okay, great. Siobhan says, where can I get the book? So we'll answer that question. Actually, maybe Carol, you can type in the chat for everyone, or Monica or someone. You just get it on myancientsecrets.com if you don't have it yet. But even if you don't have the book yet, you're going to have an amazing experience in this game. So actually, I want to go next to 2 other people. First of all, Louisa, I know you shared your experience last week, but if you could just unmute yourself and share your experience just briefly, it would be a real beautiful thing. Are you able to unmute yourself? So coming from Brazil.
Yeah.
Super.
Okay. So I have a knee condition. I wasn't a marathon runner. So I hurt real bad my both knees. And then I started taking Dr. Naram home remedy for healthy joints for about 2 months now. And I feel less pain. And my doctor saw my exams how can I translate it? MRI, where you have
MRI.
your, yes, you have your knees scanned, and he saw that my knees are so much better now. I was stage 4 of my disease, chondromalacia, and now I'm stage 2, stage 4 to stage 2. So it was a good improvement for my knees. I don't feel pain. You see, I don't feel pain anymore. So I'm so happy because I'm starting to run again, little by little, but I don't feel pain anymore. So it's so good.
So cool. From she says so nonchalant. That's a good result. In 2 months from taking a
Yeah.
home remedy that's outlined in the book to go to
Exactly.
no pain and to show on the MRI that it goes from stage 4 to stage 2. That's so amazing. So cool. Yeah, the joint pain remedy is the one that's here in the book. And also, I want to say that it's not just that. You know, Jenny talked about losing weight. On the call, let's see. First of all, who was on the last Miracle Experiment game? Can you raise your hand if you were a part of that Miracle Experiment game? Okay, so quite a few people. I have to switch the screens. And in it, last time I asked who has been who on the experiment game, who lost weight? And I think it was almost 60% of people had lost weight. Anywhere from, I don't know, and it was just from a 10-day, there's only a 10-day thing that we did, a 10-day challenge that was optional. But how cool to be able to feel healthier. And Elio and many other people talked about not only losing weight, but losing medications, you know, not having to take, Elio said 90% less medication. So it's crazy and beautiful and amazing that in natural ways, from following these principles, miracles can happen. Now, guess who just came up to visit us? Milo. Oh, he's like, he wants to say hi to everyone. Okay, so he must be asking us to transition into what are the principles of this game through which you can see mystical miracles of love. You want to see everyone? Oh, he wants this. I think I know what he wants. There you go. He definitely wants our attention and our love. So there's 3 principles that will apply. And in this miracle experiment game, we're going to do something different than we've done in any of the ones before, which I'm really excited about that I'll explain towards the end of the call. But first of all, the very first principle that we'll follow, Dr. Naram always, first thing when he met people or throughout the experience of being with them, he'd ask them one question, one primary main question. And what is the question? You can, if you know it, put it in the chat. What's the question Dr. Naram would always ask everybody? Let's see how many people got it. All right. Wow. I love watching the stream of the chat. Everyone knows, what do you want? What do you want? You know, it's such a simple question, but so powerful. What do you want? He said, according to him, 95% of people don't know what they want. They just have some idea, they go window shopping. They try this job or that job. They try this boyfriend and this boyfriend, this wife and then this wife. They try so many things, but they don't really ever really know what they want. So there's a process that we'll take you through, but the main thing is you don't want to get it too complicated. He said 3% of people know what they want, but they never achieve it because they don't have the right tools or right structure, right support. He said 1% of people, they know what they want and they achieve it, but they never enjoy it. With Dr. Naram, I met over 6 billionaires, dozens and dozens of millionaires, and you'd be surprised how unhappy, even when you have that much money, how unhappy you can be. In the process, you get health problems that money can't solve the problem. You get wife or husband problems. You get children problems. I remember one of the billionaires that I was introduced to, he talked about how everyone respected him except for his kids and grandkids. He'd go and they'd be playing their iPads or playing their games and just treat him so horrible, like he was dirt, and it hurt him. He didn't know what to do. And also he was worried they weren't gonna have much of a life because he gave them everything that they wanted. He gave his children, not only his children, but their girlfriends, BMWs or Mercedes, whatever they wanted, he just give it them as a gift. He gave them everything, but in the process, he didn't give them what they needed most. And as a result, he couldn't enjoy his success. Really interesting, huh? He was the one that actually looked Dr. Naram. I wasn't planning on telling this story, so there must be some reason. He looked Dr. Naram in the eyes and he said, Dr. Naram, You can make all the money in the world. You can have all the success, all the fame in the world. But if you fail with your children, then it's one of the worst things. He said, don't make the same mistake I did. So as a result, Dr. Ram spent a lot of time, not only with his son, but his nieces and nephews, creating something called a Shakti group, Shakti Partshala, where they would actually apply the ancient secrets in their real life and see that they could face any kind of fear, any fear of rejection. They could create, no matter what's happening in the world, they could create solutions that would help them and help other people. They didn't have to be a consumer of life. Like right now, a lot of us feel like we're consumers of life. COVID is happening, the virus is happening, all kinds of riots are happening, travel is different, and we're kind of consuming things. If you're watching the news, you're consuming a lot of fear. If you're watching lots of talking heads or sometimes social media, even your friends or other people, people have a lot of fear that they're pouring out. Now, are you going to be a consumer of that, or are you going to be a creator of your own new experience? And what I love that Dr. Ram taught, the principles in this book, the principles he taught his son, was no matter what's happening, the economy could collapse, the whole stock market could collapse, volcanoes could go off, whatever could be happening in the world, and you can be a creator of your own experience. Interesting, huh? So you don't have to consume what's coming at you. You can be so powerful, you can become so powerful that you can create a new ecosystem or a new environment around you where no matter what's coming at you from your family, from your friends, from the news, from the government, from whatever, you can create the experience you want to have. And what's the first step in that is getting clear on what do you want. Esther, I don't know if you can unmute yourself, but she's someone who got clear on what she wanted at the beginning of the very first experiment and wrote it down, even though she thought it was crazy, and it happened. Esther, can you share about that? It's so cool.
Sure. What I wanted, I've been involved in a wildlife rescue organization based in India for the last couple of years. And they rescue elephants and bears and tigers and leopards and all sorts of things. And this last February, I was on a tour with the founders of the group. And I decided while I was on that tour that what I wanted was to be a member of the board of directors. So during the miracle experiment, when the question was, what do you want? I wrote down, I want to be on the board of directors. And I think it was in June that I got a call saying, would you please submit an application to be on the board of directors? And because of COVID, the board of directors weren't meeting. I submitted my application, was waiting and waiting and waiting, and hadn't heard anything, and went to my natural, like, oh, I must have been rejected. And then I thought, no, I'm not going there. So I wrote an email and said, I don't know if you've been able to meet yet, but I'm wondering if the results of the vote will be made anytime soon. And last week I got a call and an email saying that I had been voted onto the board of directors. So very grateful. It's a wonderful new opportunity for me, and it gives me lots more reasons to be able to come to India and visit my beloved elephants and bears and all the other animals. So
cool. Congratulations.
Great experience. Thank you.
So everyone who's participating in this miracle experiment game, you need to have a journal, okay? And in the very first page, you write down, what do I want? What do I want? Now, if you're like Esther, maybe it's obvious and you can clear on that. Maybe it's pretty complicated to think overall what you want. So you can just ask yourself, what do I want from today? What do I want from today? And you write that down, just write it down, whatever you want from today. And oftentimes it's more than what you want to do, but it's who you want to be. Like I remember the first time, because I'm a chronic people pleaser, I'm like a recovering people pleaser. So the first time I did this, I wrote down, I want to be honest today. I don't have to do anything else, but if I'm just honest and not people pleasing today, I'll be happy with who I am. And I remember I had 3 business meetings where before maybe I would have tried to control the outcome by altering perception in some way, but in this case, I just became completely honest. And I was unconcerned with the outcome of the meeting. I just wanted to be a certain way. I wanted to be honest, and I wanted to not people please. And I did it. And at the end of the day, I felt so good because I was clear on what I wanted. You know, maybe you want to be generous, maybe you want to be more loving, maybe you want to do whatever, but it's more about what you want to be. And then the most important part of this too, or one of the most important things, is you write it down in the form of a gratitude statement as if it's already happened. So if you're Esther, you write down, I'm so grateful that I'm on the board of directors for this Wildlife Foundation. I'm so grateful that I'm on the, you write it as if it's already happened, okay? So that's about the first principle of this miracle experiment game, is discovering what you want. There's a video in the Facebook group that you can join with us where Dr. walks you through a process to discover if you want that extra help. But the main thing is, remember to write down, don't judge yourself, don't limit yourself, and also don't get too hung up about it. Because the miracles, the mystical miracles, may not even be related to what you wrote on the paper about what you want. It's just that sets you in the direction in which there may be things that are beyond your knowing will unfold in your life. Does that make sense? Okay, let's see. Does anyone have any questions about this part, about writing down what you want, this first principle of the game? Okay, if you do have any question, you can write it in the chat or unmute yourself. Otherwise, we'll go on to the second principle, which is, I'm just so glad that Esther brought up the concept of helping animals, because the second principle of the game is, yeah, please, Dharmendra.
Yeah, so yeah, since long time I'm getting confused, like what I want, because so many things are there. So basically I want to be in service, I want to be resourceful. So how should I write it? Like,
great question. So yeah, you can write down, like, we can just start with those two things you mentioned. I want to be of service and I want to be resourceful. That's what you said?
yeah.
So you can write down on your sheet of paper, I'm so grateful that I'm able to serve and be resourceful. Something like that. We can tweak that a little bit, but the nice thing is also, on the very first miracle experiment game, I made it so it was very specific as well. Like what I wrote down on my sheet of paper was, I'm so grateful that at my age, I'm healthier and more flexible than I've ever been. And I can tell it because I can touch my toes. I'm so grateful I can do 22 pull-ups. At the time I could only do 11, you know, but I wrote, I'm so grateful I can do 22 pull-ups. At the time I couldn't bend to touch my legs. I could only go this far. I'll show you it. Like this is how inflexible I was. I could only go to like right here, and it was so tricky. And then I wrote one other thing about being able to run, but then by the end of the experiment, I was able to go, look, I don't know if you can see now, but I'm so excited. I can not only touch my toes, but I can touch my knuckles to the ground. Yeah. And just the other day, I did by the end of that experiment, I did 22 pull-ups, but last week I did 30 pull-ups in a row. So also when you can get specific, it helps, you know, because it gives you something to go towards. But start with that, and then see how does that unfold, and write it in a form of a gratitude statement as if you're already that. So maybe it's, how can I experience even more service and resourcefulness is a question you'd ask yourself, and you say, I'm so grateful that I am doing this thing. Hey, Milo. Okay, I'll pet you. Okay, he wants us to move on to the second principle. Great question, Dharmendra. Anyone that needs any help or any tweaking with this, reach out to your miracle mentor. In each small group, there's going to be mentors, and they can even help you walk through and refine it. And also the video with Dr. Ram, I think, can help as well. Great question, though. I think you're not the only one asking that. So I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, ready for the second principle? Okay, 1, 2, 3. So second principle is something that Dr. Ram taught me that is in chapter, oh my goodness. Why am I putting myself on the spot? I think it's chapter 4, but it's a principle of Atiti Devo Bhava. Atiti Devo Bhava. Baishu has a great question. You'll know who your mentor is when you go the first week. At the end of this call, we're going to send out a link to everyone where you can actually, you know what, Carol? Well, okay. In a moment, we're going to spend some minutes where you'll choose your group. But Carol, just get ready with that link for the that we can post in the chat. I don't want to post it quite yet, but pretty soon we're going to post it. So the second principle that we're applying is called Atiti Devo Bhava. Atiti Devo Bhava. What does that mean? And I probably mispronounced it, but it means to treat the unexpected guest as if God himself or herself has come to visit you. So how this may show up is many different ways. You may get an unexpected visitor at your house, and so you treat them as if it's God himself or herself. That's the most obvious, but it could be that your child is trying to interrupt you when you're working, or your spouse has a certain question for you when you're focused on something else. Or it could be an animal that shows up. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, but it could even be an emotion, some emotion that shows up. You could be sad, or you could be frustrated, or you could be lonely, or whatever. Instead of resisting it and thinking something's wrong, you say, okay, Atiti Devo Bhava. What is the gift in this? I treat this as if it's God himself or herself coming. And so you honor that. In particular, for this part of the game, what you'll want to do is you'll want to go out of your way to feed animals, specifically dogs, cows, and crows. So every week, I do it every day. Like today we did all three except for cows. We didn't find any cows to feed, but we go out of our way and we find cows, crows, or dogs to feed, specifically if they need help. And they just, oftentimes they show up. Now during the lockdown, I remember one person said, oh, I can't go out and I don't have any animals here. Well, cool. There's a link that I'll send out to everyone participating in the Miracle Experiment game, where you can actually contribute to those who are feeding street dogs. And I have some people that I know, they actually just live next door. They go out and every night they're feeding 30 to 40 street dogs and street puppies. And they actually rescued some because they were getting eaten by a cheetah that's in this national park. And so they helped save these animals. And you can contribute directly because they really don't have any money. You know, every penny, every rupee is going to a really good cause. Also, Esther has this organization that you can help. And so the main thing is you want to make sure that you are personally contributing to the good things happening in the lives of these dogs, animals, and crows. Dogs, cows, and crows specifically. Now Amruta, she had her own dog, but she's like, you know, I don't have anything else showing up. And then all of a sudden she noticed these little ants crawling through her room. So she said, oh, Atiti Devo Bhava. So she started feeding them. So she put a little banana and started feeding the ants, and she was so happy, except for her dog would come in and eat the banana and eat all the ants that were on the banana. And then she was mad at her dog. And so then it's like she then thought, oh, you know what? Actually, she learned I'm responsible. Then she had an unexpected guest of frustration show up. So many things are happening. I wasn't planning on going in this much complexity. But the ultimate unexpected guest for her was frustration. At first, she was blaming her dog for eating the ants. And then she realized, why am I really frustrated? And she realized she knew if she left the door open, the dog was going to come in and do that. So she wasn't really angry at the dog. She was angry at herself, but blaming it on the dog. And then what came of it ultimately was she says, you know, I'm responsible for my own emotions. She had this huge breakthrough experience. A beautiful thing happened where she wasn't projecting her emotions on anyone else or anything else, but she was owning them and experiencing them fully as teachers, as if God himself or herself would come to teach her this great lesson. Oh my goodness, I get emotional because her story, when she shared that, helped me so much when I've needed it. When I've gotten frustrated, I realized, what am I really frustrated about? It had nothing to do with the person or the situation or the event, but usually it was when I was compromising, when I wasn't true to myself, when I wasn't honoring the divine in me. Someone else who has a beautiful story about when you start to honor the divine outside of you, it actually helps you honor the divine more inside of you, is Rajani. Rajani, can you unmute yourself and share your experience with this second principle, Aditi Devo Bhava? I don't know if you're on the call. She has such a good story.
Yeah, I think Rajani got bumped off and couldn't get back in.
Okay, I'm gonna share her story because it's so powerful. Yeah, we reached the limit of people on the Zoom call. Carol, you were right. First of all, I wanna say I apologize. I thought we weren't gonna be more than 100, but I know there's a lot of people who couldn't join this call and they're sending messages. Rajani, she has a story about how she always hated crows. They scared her. You know, they're going, caw, 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 and they're scary. And there's one crow that showed up on her balcony and she would always try and scare it away. And then she heard me talk about this principle. She's like, oh my goodness, now I have to be nice to these guys. And so she did it 100%. She started treating this crow as if God himself or herself had appeared, and started, instead of scaring the crow away, she started feeding the crow. So she started feeding this crow every day, and then she started loving the crow. And she started noticing this crow is different from other crows. She started noticing distinctions between crows. Instead of just crows, this was her friend. And then she started to notice the emotions of the crow. If the crow didn't show up, she felt lonely that day, like her friend didn't come to visit her. Then she started to see that not only she's honoring the divine here, but as she'd be with people before, she would let herself get walked over. She'd compromise. She wouldn't honor the divine in herself, but she also started to notice that she's honoring the divine in herself. She didn't put up with people treating her poorly. She respected herself more. I hope I have a picture of her. I'd love to show you her picture, because whenever I see her picture and I feel like this love of the power of this principle. Oh, here it is. Great. I'm going to show you her principle, and then she'll be able to share it. She'll be able to share this soon, but this is Rajni right here. And you can see her eyes glowing. And she talked about how much her life has changed completely since applying this principle, not only Aditi Devo Bhava with regards to the divine outside of her, but recognizing more the divine that she is. She's one of the group leaders, one of the mentors that will be leading the groups, and she has such a powerful perception. She says her whole life has changed as a result of it. She actually asked me, can I serve? Can I do anything more? And I was like, yeah, the book has just been translated into Hindi. I need some volunteers to help. So she coordinated, she found 12 volunteers, including Dharmendra, who just spoke, and many other people, and did this service. And as a result, her life she's been seeing so many miracles. Okay, so the first principle is, what do you want? The second principle is, Aditi Devo Bhava, Aditi Devo Bhava. Today, I forgot to share this, is the coolest thing. Today, I was standing, actually every day I go and I put a flower in front of the picture of Dr. Naram. Let's see if I can open this up so you can see it. I put a picture in front of I just do it out of love. I put a flower in front of Dr. Naram's picture. You can see that. And then I put a flower on a couple of statues, and one of them is Hanuman statue. So I don't know if you know who Hanuman is, but in this culture, you can't really visualize God, so you see him in many different forms. In fact, that's part of this principle, is you see God everywhere. Because we're all children of God or creations of God, even though this has nothing to do with religion. Dr. Ram made that clear in the book and in his teachings to me. It's like electricity. It just works regardless of whether you're Muslim or Christian or Hindu or atheist, it doesn't care. You press the switch and it works. Same things with the principles in this miracle experiment. But I go in front of Hanuman today, I actually put a flower and I just prayed to God. I said, you know, I don't know if I ever really needed you, would you be there for me? And so Hanuman is a representation of the monkey god, right? So then in 10 years, I've never ever seen this happen right in front of my home. This just happened today, right in front of my home. In 10 years, I've never seen it. This monkey shows up. I couldn't believe it. I felt the awe of it, that prayer happened right in front of that statue. And then so quickly, this thing that had never happened before happened. Many people who participated in previous miracle experiment games, you start to have things like this happen. Mystical miracles of love start to show up in your life, often because you're honoring life and life starts to honor you, and signs or symbols or certain stuff shows up just to tell you you're loved and you're taken care of. Helen says, today I painted my kitchen and my dog walked in the paint and walked through the whole house. Oh my goodness. But she says, but I recognize it's my fault for leaving the lid on the floor. Wow, that's amazing. All right, so Vaishu says, I came in late. Can you repeat? The first principle is, what do you want? And the second principle is Aditi Devo Bhava. And then the third principle is this. You infuse your life with more gratitude. Very last chapter of this book, Dr. Ram says that one of the greatest secrets for how you can not only improve your health physically, but your health mentally and your health emotionally. He says, we not only feed our bodies, but we feed our minds and we feed our emotions. And one of the greatest secrets his master ever taught him is to be grateful. in everything. And you can hear on the very beginning part of this call, I played a little clip that was from Brother David Steinbeiss Ross, who just talks so beautifully about this day is a gift. This moment is a gift. So every day in your journal, and actually in the Facebook group, for those who want to, you're going to write down at least 3 things you're grateful for from that day. At least 3 things you're grateful for from that day. And you'll start to notice as you focus on what you want instead of what you don't want. So another thing that Dr. Ram said, a big quote in here, he says, focus on what you want, not what you don't want. If I'm asking you honestly on this call, what percentage of the time do you focus on what you don't want? What percentage of the time do you focus on what you don't want? It's probably a significant amount of time. So what if you can even switch that 10% more or 50% more, 100% more focusing on what you want? And one way you can get to what you want, if you're unclear, is you infuse your life with more gratitude. More gratitude. When you infuse your life with more gratitude, you start to think from a different place. Like Jenny said so beautifully on the call with me, and she says your vibration changes. If you're coming from fear, if you're coming from doubt, if you're coming from stress, if you're coming from worry, your brain only has a certain level of solutions available. But when you're coming from gratitude, all of a sudden you see things differently. You become a creator of your experience instead of a consumer. And you can focus on what you want instead of what you don't want. Jenny, you have something to share with that?
Yes, I would love to share a story. It was in 2014 that I really had this longing to get a connection with elephants. So I wanted to see elephants and I wanted to touch elephants. So what I did, I had 5 children at the time. I had to take care of and a big business. So I was not able to to go to a country to see elephants, and I didn't have the money at the time because everything went into the family. So I started to paint elephants, and it's on my website. I can show you later a picture of it. But I started to paint animals, and that's when I found out afterwards. Miracles happen when you focus your mind on the things you do want. Because whilst being busy with the painting, maybe it took 2 weeks, I could overcome my blockages, how do you say it? Things that I told myself that it couldn't happen. So at the end of the painting, I had booked a trip to Thailand, and we went to this place where they what was he saying before? A place where they keep old elephants and take care of them.
Elephant sanctuary or something.
Yeah,
like
sanctuary for elephants. So I did wash an elephant, I walked with an elephant, I touched the elephant. And that was a miracle for me to realize that when you focus on things that you want, you actually can manifest everything. Because your thinking aligns with what you can do instead of what you can't.
Oh, so perfect, Jenny. I'm so glad you're here. That is perfect.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to put a judgment on it. I mean, Jenny, when she's sitting in the Netherlands, she has this idea, I want to be associated with elephants. It doesn't make sense.
No.
You know, it doesn't make sense financially. It doesn't make sense logistically. It doesn't tie into any of her life. She has children. She has responsibilities. But you don't want to put a judgment on what you want. Right. It shouldn't be what someone else wants for you. And you don't want to say it's possible, not possible. You want to have your mind open and allow that to come through. Esther, would you share briefly your story with elephants? I just think it's a perfect segue.
Sure, Jenny, I love elephants too, and always felt like I related to them. And when I retired from work, I thought, I was on Facebook and an ad popped up like, do you want to see an elephant? And I was like, yes. And without knowing anything about this group, I immediately signed up for a trip to Thailand to go meet elephants. And I went and I played with them. I walked them to the river. I swam in the river with them, you know, everything. Anyway, it was on a trip to India where I met an elephant, and I knew that I related to it. And I related to the elephants because I thought their legs looked like my legs. I had been grossly obese for, you know, 40 years of my life because of a brain tumor. And the elephant legs reminded me of my legs. And I thought, as I stood there crying, I thought, I love this elephant. And if I can love this elephant, I can love me. And it changed my relationship to me and really developed my love for the elephants. And that was what brought me to Wildlife SOS and wanting to be on the board of directors and helping these elephants live out their life. They were previously tortured and abused elephants that they keep. And it was my wanting to help them live out the last years of their lives for as long as they live with love and compassion. So
beautiful. I love that so much. So powerful. You know, the very first opening quote of the book, I didn't come to teach you, I came to love you, and love will teach you. Esther is a perfect example, and Jenny, a perfect example of following what they want. And what they want led them to more love of the divine, not only outside them, but inside of them. You know, in this experiment game last time, I was really touched because you may think you're here for some reason, and that's beautiful. You come with a certain intention, but some other miracle may catch you off guard. Elio is a perfect example where there's a certain challenge activity we're doing, and through it, he reconnected with his child that he hadn't talked to for 10 years. And it makes me so happy. Also, another person connected with his mom he hadn't connected with for 8 years. Several people connected with their children or with their siblings or with people that they had some grievance or some guilt or something around that was blocking, and that melted away. It's almost like as the vibration increases, as the love increases, as you focus on what you want, you're focused on what you're grateful for, you can't actually predict what's going to happen in your life, but you know it's going to be beautiful. Einstein says you can't solve a problem from the same level of mindset that created it. By doing this miracle experiment, you're going to have a different mindset. It's inevitable. In some way, you're going to see some beautiful things happen in your life, whether it's on a physical level, mental, emotional level. I just want to say my mom is on this call. And Mom, I don't know if you can unmute yourself and put yourself on video. I love her so much, and she's inspired me so much. We'll see if she's able to. She may have parked it for a second, but she saw what was happening in these miracle groups. Oh, Mama. Yeah. Can you tell them about what your invitation was to me with my sister, with Becky's family, and why you were inspired to do that?
I saw a need to have them know what they wanted rather than being obsessed with technology and their time on their technology screens. And I knew that they could benefit and show more love within their family and with each other if they participated in knowing what they wanted and sharing in this miracle group and showing more gratitude for what they had. And so Clint happily set up a time just for their family to experience that, and it has made a great difference in their lives and the way they treat each other and the way we get along.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's so perfect you brought this up, Mom. So my mom has her own miracle experiences where she had joint pain that was so bad she'd get out of bed and fall back into bed. She, like Louisa, she started using some of the home remedies, and now I thought she was 80% better. She corrected me. She says, no, Clint, I'm 90% better now. That's so cool. And she's been joining these miracle experiments from the beginning. What she brought up is an important point. Most of us are addicted to our devices. We're not focused on what we want. We're consumers of all the flow of information coming to us. And we're being programmed by the things that are coming into our mind and our heart through whatever we're consuming through our Facebook, our Instagram, our Twitter, our emails, and so many things. So in this particular miracle experiment game, one of the things we're going to do differently than any of the other ones is there's going to be an optional section, which is going to be actually a social media fast. Okay. And I'm going to talk more about it next week, but it's something I'm personally very, very excited about. So until then, you can get on the Facebook group. We'll email it out to you. Okay. Actually, Carol, can you put in the chat the link to the survey? So what we want to do now in the last few minutes is for you to choose what small group you're going to join with. So if you're a miracle mentor, if you're one of the mentors, you don't have to choose that, but everyone else, you'll want to click on the link. Let's see. Oh, Carol, there she is. So in the chat function, if you, on the bottom of your screen, you'll see something that says chat. You click on it and you'll see Carol has just posted a link to a Google Doc. You want to click on that Google Doc, and it's 2 questions you want to answer right now to join one of the small groups. So go ahead, and everyone can do this now together. You just click on that link. So if I share my screen, I'll show you what it looks like on my side, but you'll have to do it on your own side. So you'll click on this link. Oh, why does it just have email address here? Well, that must be something different. Just 1 second. Let's see what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah, you put in your email address, then it brings up the 2 questions.
Oh, I'm so glad we're doing this together. All right, good. So you put in your email address here. Mine is draClint@myancientsecrets.com. And then I click submit.
Yes.
And then it says your response has been recorded. Submit another response.
Oh, great. I think that's
Okay.
done right. I'm going to, oh gosh, I'll work on it in the next 2 seconds.
Isn't it because you probably sent the response already? Because it doesn't happen to me.
No, something else is going on with the form. Okay.
I think this is the link to join the 30-day registration game, not the actual questions.
Right. I got it here. Let's see. No,
Oh yeah, so, yeah. That's the link to join the game. Yeah, that's true.
That's the link to join the game. That's.
Oh no. Wait a minute here. I don't know what happened to the questions. They were such good. Let's see.
Yeah, it
Carol,
was just yeah. What happened? What happened to my form?
Sorry, this was the link to the survey that we were emailed
Yeah.
because it says send me my responses.
Well,
yeah,
the responses. Well, let's see. It was working 5 seconds ago, and then I tried to change it because the name thing wasn't working right, and now I've blown it up. So last minute changes says.
In the meantime, I suggest that everybody still fills in the form, because worst comes to us, what Carol can do is she can email everybody the link again to the questions, and we can do it that way. I know there will be a delay in starting and joining the groups, but that is another suggestion.
Yeah, great
It's making me so nervous. I'm shaking. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that, Carol. Aditi Devabawa, right?
T.T. Devabawa. Everybody has my email. We can.
Do you have any?
Don't worry about that thing. Everybody's watching you.
Yeah.
Carol is amazing. She is just
I'm
so
not amazing right now. At this second,
Well,
I'm about to
I think
have a crying
So-
fit.
Great job.
Carol, you're amazing. Don't worry. It's okay.
Take a couple breaths. We're gonna, if it's okay with everyone, we're gonna go over for about five minutes if you have a moment. And I just want actually Jana, if you can share your experience about what's happened to you as a result of joining the Miracle Experiment game and then also being a mentor, and why you're excited for the people who are just beginning.
Well, I'm primarily excited that this is just beginning. I'm excited for people to begin this because these principles are so amazing. My life has been changed in so many ways I can't even I mean, there's so many. I see miracles every single day. But one of the ones that came up for me during this time of our last miracle game was first of all, my sister was ill, and I was there to help her until she had surgery because her energy level was really, really low. And just, what do I want? I want her to go through the surgery well and to have with grace, ease, and love. And a lot of people here helped with that by sending love, prayers, and blessings, which are so appreciated. And in the meantime, my siblings and I, we connected through a little chat, a group chat, which is unusual because we usually are not very connected at all. And I have not had my brother's contact information for 15 years. 20 years ago, we had a falling out, and 5 years after the falling out, we came together and we were able to make amends. But because the hurt was so deep, we just didn't feel like we wanted to interact with each other because we didn't want to be hurt again. And here now, because my sister's in the hospital going through a surgery, I now have his email address, his phone number. We're texting. And one morning after it was the day of my sister's surgery, I thought I need to send him a copy of the book. And I did. I had sent my sister who was going through the surgery a copy of the book, weeks before, and my other sister a copy of the book, and she read it, loved it, got connected to India, and is going to be doing her mung bean soup this week. So my brother got the book just last week, and he sent me a text thanking me, and he said, I am so excited to read this book. And I said, I think you'll really love it. So this whole process has just been a process of healing. By the way, my sister's surgery went very well. She is active. She's just recovering. I'm going to be heading there again for another couple of weeks because she's got some limited activity. But it's just, the miracles that happen are just amazing. And you have to look for them. And part of the looking for them for me is when I'm not grateful, I don't see them. When I'm grateful, I see them. So thank you. Congratulations everybody for being here. I'm so excited to hear all of your stories.
Yeah, beautiful. I think, Jana, you're the one that posted a quote, "A grateful heart is a magnet for miracles." And really that's what we want everyone here to become, is a magnet for miracles. If you've participated in the game before, I want you to really do it 100% this time. Maybe there's some area you didn't really do so much. Maybe you weren't so clear on framing what you want in form of a gratitude statement. Or maybe you didn't really do Aditi Devo Bhava. Maybe you could have done more about really writing down your 3 gratitude statements every day. If you've done the experiment before, I want you to ramp it up. Because I want you to experience more of the joy that comes from what's possible as you're applying these ancient healing secrets in your life. Okay, I want to hear from a couple people who this is your very, very first time playing this game. Any questions you have, anything that's in your heart as you're listening to this thing that you're becoming a part of. Let's just see, you can either raise your hand or you can unmute yourself. Anyone have something that they want to share? Let's see here. All right, Linda, please.
So this is my first time joining the game, and I am extremely excited to be a part of this. When I first heard about the book, it was really tugging at me, and I knew I needed to have it. And I am so thankful for it, to have just gone through it. I've been on the mung soup for about 2 weeks and love it, and don't miss any of the other foods. So I'm looking forward to the games.
That's so cool. Where are you joining from, Linda? I just want to make sure we know.
Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix. So glad you're here. So glad you're here. This is a unique experience to be with a group of people that are just showing up just out of love. you know, just out of love for life and for each other, and really leading with that. And I can feel that you're already doing that. I think that's why you're attracted to this experience. Okay, anyone else want to share who's especially new? Oh, I want to hear from Padmalaya at some point. Just so glad to see you on this. Let's see. Oh, I just want to hear from everyone. I'm just looking at your faces and just feeling like we could just stay on here for hours. Unfortunately, we've done that in the past, but I'm trying to keep it to 1 hour properly. Carol, whenever you're ready, you can let us know. But I want to go to Jane, if you're okay sharing a little bit about your experience either on previous games or yeah. Just 1 second.
Did you say me? On previous games?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, Jane. Not you.
Okay, I thought you said.
Yeah. I know you go by GI Jane, but it's not actually your proper name. But you feel like you can share something? I just want to say that I just want to introduce you because as you're having experiences, she's the one who's taking people's miracle experiences that they have as a result of the book or as a result of this game, and they're putting it on the website. She says, I want to help in some way. I'm good at technology. Can you just share about what that experience is like to see the miracle after miracle after miracle come through?
So good morning or good afternoon, everyone. My name is not Gia Jane, it's Geraldine. That's the name I just use for like social media, but it has been like a life-changing experience because of the type of work that I do. I work in law enforcement. I see like a lot of bad things every day, and being able to connect with all of you and to see all your experiences, it has been a miracle. It has been like truly life-changing. I'm a little bit shy. I don't like talking in public, so it caught me off guard, but I am so thankful to be here.
Yeah, thank you, Geraldine. You know, what I love is she has collected so many stories and posted them on the myancientsecrets.com website. Many of your stories but as you have a story, I just wanted her to share so you can make sure you send it to her and we can acknowledge that. In fact, we're actually even writing a book about people's experiences as a result of this. So if you have a chapter or something you want to share. Oh, Carol, looks like the form is up. Okay, Geraldine, so grateful for you and for everyone who's supported in all the ways. So now let's click on the form. It should be in the chat and make sure that you sign up for group. Okay, beautiful. Yep. So now this has the 7 different group times that you can select from. You put your email address. Okay, I guess I can share my screen now.
And if anybody has questions or problems, or if there's you're looking for something different, let me know. I'm happy to help you. And my email is carolkray@me.com.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank
you know
you.
the thing I just noticed is it says group 7. It should be group 6. It's just a typo.
Well, 6 was kind of went away, so it's actually within.
Okay.
Maybe there will be a new birth of the new group.
Yep.
That's great. I just want to, as you're choosing which small group to participate in, don't put too much thought in. Follow your heart. Just select one, the best one that you feel, and then the second best one. You'll be contacted. You can't go wrong. That's what I want to say. You really can't go wrong. The miracle mentors, the mentors who are they are powerful, and they're not here to teach you anything, but they're just here to hold a space of love in which you can share and you can explore and you can discover what's possible in your life as you apply these 3 principles and as we play this game together, do this experiment. So don't put too much thought into it. Just pick one, your best first choice, and then your best second choice. The people in your group, the people in your group, just 1 second, Elio, the people in your group may end up becoming some of your best friends. And a lot of that will just be one of the unexpected miracles that comes. Okay, Elio?
One thing that I want to suggest is look at the time zones, and how that affects your time that you see on the schedule. And that would be one thing, that is very important. The days and the times that you are available.
Yeah,
and
great.
The mentors, we do what we need to do, and it's going to happen, but that's not it. The thing is, watch the time zones and how is it affecting where you're at? What is the difference?
These time zones are all in California time right now, Pacific Standard Time. Some people say, what is it, PDT or PST? Just remember California time. And so the first group is Saturday, 8 a.m. California time, which would be 11 a.m. New York time, which would be 8:30 p.m. India time.
And Europe is about 8-9 hours difference.
Yeah,
So-
depending on what part you're in. Cool. All right. I think if you've got that completed, I just want to just share from my heart to your heart. I'm so grateful. I just want to say congratulations for honoring yourself to have this experience. I don't know what's happened, but even as a result of, because I was planning on doing my own social media fast, I asked the Miracle Mentors, should we do this game or not? And they said, no, we definitely need to do it. And we need to have this as an option for other people. And so the result of you actually saying, I want to do this game, it's happening. And then when I see the things happen like this morning with this monkey showing up, I get real excited. I get a real good vibe about what's possible in your life and what it means for all of us collectively as we do this together, what it can mean for all of humanity. You know, the original idea behind the Global Healing Miracle Experiment is there's the concept that there's no order of degree of miracles. And even it says when two people are joined in a clear purpose, it becomes the mind of God. I've heard different quotes like this from different places, and I'm excited to see what can happen as we're holding this intention of love and of healing. What's going to happen for you, even if you just get pulled along by the group to a different level, what's going to happen? And then as you lead your own life in a different way, instead of being a consumer of experience, not just consuming the fear, but creating a different experience for yourself and those around you by focusing on the three principles, getting clear on what you want, practicing Atiti Devo Bhava, and infusing your life with more gratitude. So from my heart to your heart, I love you. I'm with you. I don't know how to unmute everyone, but if you want to, you can unmute yourself at this point and just, yeah.
Namaste.
Hi, everybody.
Namaste.
Love you, and I'm with you.
With you, and I'm with you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Namaste. Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.
Namaskar.
Thank you very much. Namaste.
I love you and I'm with you.
I love you and I'm with you.
Love you.
So beautiful, so beautiful. It's literally, what a beautiful family to be a part of. Looking forward to seeing you in your small groups, meeting your mentors this week. That'll happen. And then next week on Sunday, we'll meet at the same time, applying these ancient secrets to change your life forever. Love you, and I'm with you. Namaste.